Hi, Phil Henshaw here again. You win in court at gmail.com. Again, a little different format for our videos, but different times, as all of you know. But good ones. As bad as things look right now, the government has gone so far out of there, past the powers that they have, especially considering we got a de facto government here with no powers at all, that a lot of us are going to come to grips for the first time with having to deal with these bastards. Not just like in traffic court or even with the Internal Revenue Service or regulatory agencies. But here it's so bad they now have us out here where I'm in California telling me I can't go in to buy groceries unless I'm wearing a face mask. Just as though there's a pandemic going on, yet there isn't anything remotely familiar or related to that, given the bubonic plague in the 14th century wiped out 25% of Europe. Here, Governor Gruesome is complaining about the loss of 2,000 lives, not something to take lightly, granted, but as a percentage of California population, 1/500th of 1%. Go and you tell me how they're getting away with doing this. Looks like to me a test run, given what I know with 5 decades of research, especially into the chemical and biological warfare uh, aspects of the federal government. A lot of it at Fort Detrick, Maryland, some of it at New Orleans. I mean, they create this stuff. And I'm not saying they created this coronavirus, but they're certainly taking advantage of the opportunity if they didn't. Let's put it that way. And it goes back to martial law government, and we've been on a fiat paper currency since March 5th, 1933, HJR 192. And history will show you that any government that operates on fiat paper currency needs to have in effect a perpetual state of emergency. Exactly what we've had for at least 85 years. And if you contact me about information on my modestly priced constitutional defense document packets, you'll get some bonus documents. Included is Senate Report 93-549, Essays on Emergency Powers. They were complaining about this crap 40 years ago, more than that. Now it's almost 85 years. Perpetual states of emergency. The president has all the power as the commander in chief of the armed forces, which makes good sense when you understand that fiat paper currency circulates in military venues. That's what's going to get us all out of this mess, in addition to some other issues that I have unopposed, not me saying it. And when I say, for example, that California is not a state admitted into this union, I'm not making it up. I've got an 82-page unopposed brief on new states. It is what it is. That's the crown jewel of all the issues that I argue, because if there are no states, what do they have as a lawful government here? Not a damn thing. And now we've got a real chance to prove it. Many of you people get involved out there as you can. And now to protect your property, your family, your children, especially from compulsory vaccinations. And you can see that's already coming if they can force us to wear face masks. But who the hell knows what's in these vaccines? And some of them have been proven with children to have mercury, for crying out loud, one of the most toxic substances there is. The polio virus, back when I was growing up, we must have got a good batch outside of Washington, D.C., where I was, because a lot of it apparently had been tainted with virus that would cause cancer. And these are dead facts. By the way, you want to check this one out, go on YouTube. And I don't know, Mr. Haslam, but we're two peas in a pod. Ed Haslam, Haslam. Type that in and type in Judith Barry Baker, Barybaker. And he talks a lot about this type of scenario, and he does it like I do, with authority. So now when the hard times come and the landlords are going to collect back rent, for example, or the mortgage banker is going to want to collect back payments, or you name it, back taxes, this, that, and the other, whatever the hell it is, back government fees, just come right to me. We're here waiting for them. And with issues that are going to stop them. And now with enough people, they can't ignore all of us. Let's think about this a minute. Your landlord comes along, and doesn't mean I don't have some sympathy for landlords, especially mom and pop landlords. But the corporate ones seem to think they're entitled to back rent. All that is to them, the corporation, artificial corporate entity, privileged existence. And they think they have a right to their privileged rent that they didn't get. And yet at one and the same time, the government that created them also tells us, you and I, that as quote unquote taxpayers, we have a zero interest in our time and labor. Therefore, all this coronavirus crap, among other things, and you people that have been out of work know it, and for 6 weeks or more now, and who knows, hopefully Memorial Day it looks like to me, but it could be longer than that. And you've lost that, you can't get it back. But landlords with only a privilege to gain rental income, quote unquote, I'd like them to explain that in front of a jury, in my case, as to how they have a privileged existence and have rights. And yet we, as state citizens, not only created the government and government agents, those agents created the artificial corporate landlords. They're agents of our agents. You start making arguments like this, even in their corrupt courts. And I am working my proverbial ass off to be sure we can get into something other than that. That's a mean trick, except that the Constitution of the United States requires judicial courts. It can't be any other way. Article 1, Section 9 and 10. The feds can't pass bills of attainder. The state can't pass bills of attainder, which for those of you who don't know, is the taking of life, liberty, or property without judicial process. A direct guarantee of the right to trial by jury, among other things. And yet we go in there and demand it, and I haven't gotten close to a jury, and I'm never going to, even in my South Carolina felony case. They finally figured out after a 7-month vacation there as a political prisoner, they couldn't beat me. And if I get in front of their damn jury, I'm going to break the state bar monopoly there on the practice of law, and I'm going to get 50 of them for one. They finally figured it out, and they sent me home. They gave up. So interesting story I'll tell you about much more later. But confronting what we are now, with all this crap going on, it's just a matter of time before I think this is a dry run to see what they can get away with and create an even more toxic virus. And we'll see what comes down with that.